Setting up with your driver will be different than setting up with your irons. That's partly because of the club length. The driver is obviously a lot longer than the irons, but also the way we hit the ball with our irons is different than our driver. In this video, we'll just be looking at our driver, but make sure to check out that other video for your irons. And one of the things I've learned just in this last couple years while working with GolfTec is the feet flare. So feet flare is just as it sounds. You're literally going to take your feet and just kind of flare them out. I specifically have felt the benefits of this because I used to have a sore knee after a round of golf or a long practice session. And now with using the feet flare setup, I don't feel that pressure on my lead knee anymore. So I recommend doing that. So once you have your feet flare set up, we'll go into where do you put the ball in alignment to your feet or your stance. One other thing I learned from GolfTec very recently was instead of going off of your lead foot, and of course back in the day I was taught feet facing your target line, and then you line up your ball with the lead toe, so your left toe if you are right-handed. But with the feet flare, obviously, you can't do that because now the toe is a little bit further in front of the ball. Instead, really set up off of your lead shoulder. So because the lead shoulder is going to be behind the ball, you want to hit up on the ball with the driver. If you set up the ball along with your lead shoulder here, that will give you the more precise location of where to place the ball within your stance. If you're using the lead foot as a guide to tee up your ball, that's going to fluctuate based on where your aim is and how you're setting up for your shot. So using the shoulder is going to be a little more precise, and so that's what I'll recommend in this video. Flare your feet slightly and then set up the ball off of your lead shoulder, so in line with your lead shoulder. Now another question I get is how far apart should your feet be? Now with an iron, your feet should typically be about right underneath your hips, and in a position where someone were to come up to you and try to push you over, they would not be successful because you're balanced enough, but you're not too far away to where if you're trying to swing a club that's shorter, you end up having a hard time moving out of that position. The driver is obviously a longer club. So instead of being our feet right underneath our hip bones, we're instead gonna take a wider stance where you feel like you have a little more turn. Our feet are flared to allow a little more extra turn as well, and a little bit more depth to where you can engage that lower body a bit more, knowing that you also have more time with this wider stance to get your club back to the ball. So a good guide in knowing the distance of how far away your feet should be is to go ahead and put your feet underneath your hip bones like you're setting it for an iron shot, and then take that trail foot and just take a step back. So it's about another foot size back. You should feel like you're in a comfortable position where you have a good foundation and you can balance really well throughout your swing and throughout that rotation, but you also don't feel like you're stretching to where it's uncomfortable. So just a little bit wider of a stance will be a good rule of thumb as you're setting up with your driver. Now the grip is a completely separate video that I'll need to record for you. For now, grip it as usual. So just a neutral grip, what you typically use for your driver. But know that your shoulder is going to extend down a straight line down your arm and to the club head. So we are gonna stand with our torso slightly tilted back, slightly pushing our hips towards the target. And then in doing so, we have our shoulder now in line with the ball, our head behind the ball, our arms extended straight down through the club, making a straight line down the shaft. And so now the next question is, how far away from the ball do you stand? This is a little bit of a tricky question because each person's body type is slightly different. There's not a universal correct distance that you should stand away from the driver. However, there are some guides to help you. So first you can check to make sure that you're standing with your weight to the middle of the foot or the balls of the foot. When you hinge forward, back of your shoulder has a straight line down over your knees and then into the balls of the feet. But now that I have this set up, I'm gonna make sure that my neck is extended so I can easily get my shoulders rotating back when I get ready to hit my driver. If you have any other tips on getting set up for your driver, make sure to put them in the comments below, as well as any questions that you may have. This video was a request, and so I build this content out based on what you want to see. And then I also consult GolfTec and my PGM program, which I'm currently in, to make sure the information is correct. But as I said, if you have other tips or questions, make sure to put them below and subscribe to see more videos like this. Thanks for watching and have a great day.